The Christian Council condemns politicians who receive funding from numbers houses.
Any government who accepts monies from these illegal entities, they are wrong. And they ought to apologize to the Bahamian people.
The government to address poaching on the diplomatic front.
We want the cooperation of the Dominican government to bring this to a quick halt.
We'll tell you about the many downtown developments that are on the way, plus Bahamian history highlighted this month.
I am very pleased that the government has taken this giant step toward our objective.
I'm Nikia DeVoe, and this is NB12 Weekend. For joining us this Saturday evening. Ahead of Monday's by-election, the Bahamas Christian Council is calling on both major political parties to make known how their campaigns have been financed in this election and the general election. This as the council prepares to amp up its anti-gambling campaign leading up to the referendum later this year. Paige McCartney reports.
President of the Bahamas Christian Council, Dr. Ranford Patterson, says anyone charged with governing a country should not have accepted donations from web shop bosses. And he said anyone that has should come forward and apologize for perpetrating an illegal activity.
Former Prime Minister Hubert Ingram admitted several weeks ago that members of his party did accept nominations from numbers houses for their campaigns ahead of the May 7th general election. However, Ingram said the party itself did not. When asked by our news team recently, Prime Minister Perry Christie said he was not aware if any PLP MPs accepted funding from numbers houses bosses for the general election and did not know if any were funding the North Abaco by-election campaign for the party. But the Christian Council president said the PLP and FNM should reveal all the sources of their campaign financing.
I think anyone who received money from an illegal entity ought to stop. If they are illegal, they are illegal. Bahamians are not allowed to gamble in our country. That's the law. And so if that's the law, how can we on one hand receive the funds and then on the other hand are responsible for governing or controlling these persons? Can't happen. Because if my hand's in your pocket, you could do me, you could do anything to me. And so any government who accepts monies from these illegal entities, they are wrong. And they ought to apologize to the Bahamian people.
Regarding the pending referendum on the legalization of the numbers business in the Bahamas, Patterson said by the end of October, the Christian Council intends to roll out its aggressive anti-gambling campaign. The Prime Minister has said he would hold the referendum before the end of the year. However, with less than 3 months left in 2012, Patterson said the government has not provided the Christian Council or the Bahamian people with enough information to make up their minds.
We should know exactly what we're up against. The country should know exactly what it is that we are supposed to be doing, because we don't know. And as a result of that, we are in limbo because we can't honestly strategize or say exactly what we're fighting against, because we don't know. I mentioned before, the Prime Minister told us that the only thing that was on the table was the legalization of the numbers business. I'm hearing other things now, so I don't know exactly what it is that we're supposed to be working against or working for.
Patterson is also opposed to the Prime Minister's consultation with UK-based advisors on legalizing gambling and instituting a national lottery in the Bahamas.
Why would you bring consultants in before getting the voice of the Bahamian people? That is something I can't understand. So I think that's all I want to say about that. It makes no sense to me.
Last week, the Prime Minister told NB12 that those consultants are concerned that a national lottery may not be sustainable in this country. He said he did not know if the question of a lottery would still be included in the referendum. Reporting for NB12, I'm Paige McCartney.
Each year, millions of dollars continue to leave the Bahamas due to rising levels of poaching, according to Minister of Foreign Affairs Fred Mitchell. In addition, those foreign poachers typically use unsustainable methods of gross fishing that destroy Bahamian banks and prevent more fish from migrating to and reproducing in Bahamian waters. For that reason, a delegation consisting of 3 government ministries intends to travel to the Dominican Republic, where the majority of poachers in Bahamian waters come from. Minister of Agriculture and Marine Resources V. Alfred Gray, Minister of Financial Services and Investments Ryan Pinder, and the Foreign Affairs Minister are heading down to the Dominican Republic for a 2-day meeting with authorities there at the end of this month.
The Dominican Republic doesn't have a bank. The Bahamas is mainly bank in shallow water. The conch and crawfish live on the banks, and the nurseries are in the banks. So the question is, where does the Dominican Republic get such an extensive fishery? Our information is that there are large commercial operations operating out of the north of the Dominican Republic, and they really fund these exercises. We want the cooperation of the Dominican government to bring this to a quick halt, to let them know that we're quite serious about this matter.
Dominican poachers are continually brought before the courts and charged with possession of prohibited spear guns, prohibited air compressors, as well as possession of underweight fish and other seafood not in season. Mitchell said this meeting will be the final one before Bahamian authorities take more drastic measures in combating illegal poachers.
There'll be some more stringent measures taken by the Defense Force and more stringent legislative measures taken in order to get control of this matter. The first thing is, though, you try diplomatic means, and then secondly, you have to take more aggressive means to try and stop it. But we're serious about it because the level of complaints is simply too high over the matter.
Now, this is good news for Bahamian fishermen who have been voicing their concerns about this long-standing issue for years. On many occasions, they have publicly called on the government to enforce fishing laws and make a greater effort to put an end to poaching, claiming that their livelihoods are at risk. Well, as officials of the Antiquities, Monuments and Museums Corporation and the Downtown Nassau Partnership announced upcoming plans for Pompeii Day in downtown Nassau, officials also revealed more development plans for the area. Managing Director of the DNP, Ed Fields, says sometime after the Junkanoo parades, the Ministry of Works will begin repaving Bay Street and improving the overall look of the area.
Hopefully in the next couple of weeks we're going to start with testing out a new application to our streetscape, namely paver blocking the Marlborough Street area, which will become pedestrianized. Hopefully that'll start in the next couple of weeks. We've already indicated to the tenants in that building that they would need to find alternate parking, which they have done so. In some cases we've assisted. We will begin to repave Bay Street. This is the Ministry of Works doing this. Repaving Bay Street all the way from Hilton to Mackey Street, redoing the curbs from Hilton to I think Elizabeth Avenue, redoing the sidewalks from Hilton to the Elizabeth Avenue junction with paver blocks, putting in new intersections that would be treated with paver blocks. Also looking at the pedestrianization, or at least the temporary pedestrianization of some of the side streets for evening events.
Field says the DNP will also be looking into temporarily converting some streets to pedestrian-only zones with the hope that in the future some streets will permanently be traffic-free.
So what we're hoping is that by pedestrianizing that and looking at other areas around this area, that you'll see more street-side bistros, more of a piazza feel that people can come and just, you know, and we're building this. I think it's important to state that the primary market for this are residents, for residents to come and enjoy downtown again. We know that no matter where we go in the world, it's the residents that the downtowns are built for, and the visitors then can enjoy what residents enjoy.
Traffic officers keeping good on their promise to enforce the rules of the road in an effort to crack down on motorists who continue to break the rules. Officers conducted road checks this holiday weekend that resulted in 6 arrests and 110 drivers being cited for various traffic infractions. Some of the offenses of the drivers included driving an unlicensed vehicle, driving with an invalid inspection certificate, driving a vehicle with no front license plate attached, driving without a seatbelt, and windows of non-transparent view.